on. I think I was muted. Okay, this is Kavita Melwani with Aligned and Soulful Leadership and Aligned and Soulful Coaching. And today I wanted to talk to you about how to create your aligned vision for 2022.
I think I was muted.
Yeah, so what I would like to do is start by talking a little bit about what I did, my video last month. So in December, I had a LinkedIn live and a live video on an aligned vision, right? So how to have your aligned, just creating a vision. And in that video, I had a few things that I talked about. So if you haven't seen that, I'm going to encourage you to go back and go through that. Also, after today, please stay. I'd love to hear your questions. And that's why I love if you show up live, but you can always private message me afterwards, send me a message and asking your questions, and I'd be happy to answer them. So, I am an intuitive coach, and I help women of color to step into their power and lead through their inner wisdom. And my last live was about, I talked about why you need a vision. So the fact is that we all have a vision. We're always visualizing all the time. But the question you need to ask yourself is, do I want to visualize consciously, or do I want to visualize unconsciously? So most of the time we are visualizing unconsciously. And these things that we see are based on our past, right? They're based on our past experiences, our past thoughts, right? Whatever it is that we've interpreted those experiences to be like as well. So, we have something happen to us, and then it goes through the filters of our brain, and our brain then stores that, and it goes into our deep memory and then into our unconscious. And then it impacts how we show up and how we see the world. And then we experience something else, and that'll impact how we experience that event. So, I talked last time about the witness studies and how, they had people, it was a study where they had an event happen in front of people, and they took each of those individuals into rooms. They interviewed them and asked them what they saw. And what they saw was different. They all had a little bit different version of what happened. And so imagine then that changes over time. And so our memories of what happened are not exactly the way that we thought they were, the way that we remembered them. And so that actually colors your vision. And it actually impacts your actions that you take on a regular basis, how you see opportunities or whether you see them or not. And so it's really important to start that conscious process of creating that vision. So I went through that last time. I also talked about vision boards and why I love vision boards, and I continue to use them, and why it's important to have a clear vision first before you use a vision board. And also I was able to walk you through and actually have a visualization to help clarify your vision on that event. If you want to listen to that, great. I also have a free visualization on abundance, and I will have that link. If you want that, you can always send me a private message and say, I want the visualization, and I will send you a link so that you can get that. And that is a visualization and exercise to help you unlock. It's focused on abundance, but you can really use it for anything that you want in your life, okay? And so at the end of that visualization, we got to, what is it that you want to see yourself? How do you want to feel at the end of the year? Because all the things that we want in life, all the things that we desire are because we want to feel a certain way. So focusing on the feeling as the starting point versus the thing. Okay. So first, getting to how you want to feel when you look at the end of the year. What is it that you want to experience and feel? What is it that you want to sense of, like, is it a sense of accomplishment that you want to feel? Do you want to feel more purposeful? Do you want to feel like that everything's abundant and you don't have to worry? Like, what is it that you want to feel? And then you can always get more specific. Okay. And so once you get to that initial vision, that feeling, then coming up with like the energy that you want this year or the word of the year is a great place to go next. Okay. And so today I want to talk more about bringing that, what I started talking about, the visualization. And if you don't have time to listen to that video, what I've shared with you right now in these first few minutes are going to can be enough to help you, right? And especially if you go ahead and grab the visualization to help you clarify that. So once you have a clear idea, as clear as possible, right? Things change, of which a vision and idea of what you want to feel and what you want, then you come up with a word of the year. And maybe it could be, instead of a word, a phrase for the year, and that's like the energy you want this year. Then you can use that to create your aligned vision. And so coming up with that vision is great. It's really important to work with it though. Okay. And so I'm going to talk today about one of the ways that you can work with it. And I'm going to have future lives where I go over other ways. So maybe you have some other ways that would work for you. So we are in the middle of the Great Resignation, right? If you haven't read about that, you can just put that into any search engine and you will see a lot of articles about this. There are so many people leaving their jobs, and I'm not remembering the exact statistic right now, but there are so many people leaving their jobs, or actually people wanting to leave their jobs and are not able to because of many reasons, right? And so what is this about? Why is this happening right now? We are in a period of great change also. The dissatisfaction, functioning unconsciously, going through our lives, just, checking off tasks and moving forward. Most of us don't want to live like that anymore. We don't want to continue down that path. And we spend a good amount of our days working. Okay. And so when we spend a good amount of our days working, we want that time to be meaningful, to be purposeful. We want that time to be towards something that we're meant to be working on, and it's aligned with us. Okay. And so a lot of people are waking up to that and realizing that whatever they're doing right now is not in alignment. Whatever they're doing right now is not giving them that satisfaction. And there's something else maybe they want. And some people don't know what that is yet. Right. And so that kind of in between phase is difficult. And actually, that's when I would encourage you, if you're feeling that, to work with someone. Working with a mentor or a coach would be so helpful to help you clarify that. Okay. Whether it's me or someone else, it just being able to have that external person that doesn't have that enmeshment in your life that the people around you have can completely shift that, because sometimes we just can't see it, right? I know I continue to work with coaches because I can't always see the things that I need to see. And that insight is so valuable. So if you're in that, I'm going to encourage you to seek support. Okay. And so a lot of people are leaving because they're not feeling satisfaction. They're not feeling recognized. They're not feeling supported. Okay. Some of my clients have come to me and said that they don't even know if they're doing a good job at work. I mean, they don't know, they don't receive, that kind of feedback that they would like. And some people need to be in work where they get to see the immediate results, where other people are okay with doing work where they know that the results are going to take a lot longer, right? So who are you and what do you want? What are your values? Who are you now? And maybe who you were and what you wanted 10 years ago were different. So that's what's happening with this Great Resignation. So if you're in that place, it's really important to be as clear as you can with your vision. And it's still important to create a vision board with what you know. Okay. So once you have this vision, once and we're talking about the Great Resignation, if you're in that confusion point, and then you work with your vision, one of the ways to do that is with a vision board. You can also, have a mantra that you revisit regularly. Do regular visualizations where you're imagining that you're actually embodying this that you want. What I'm going to encourage you not to do is to come up with this vision, be excited in January, and then, in a few weeks or a couple months, you completely forget about it. Okay. This is meant for you to keep you on track. Your ego is mind. Your mind is going to put you back to your old habits because it knows that you're safe. That's, how your brain is going to keep you safe by keeping things the same. So it's important to continue to connect with your vision on a regular basis. And one of my favorite ways to do that is the vision board. A lot of people are afraid to do a vision board because they don't know what to do with it. Some people think there's no point, it's a waste of time, right? If that's you and you're not sure how to do a vision board, then keep listening because I'm going to go over some key things that you make sure that you put on your vision board. If you're not sure about it yet and you just want to try it, then also stay. If you're really skeptical and you don't want to ever do a vision board, you can go with a mantra. You can do journaling, and I will be coming back again and doing another live on another process to help you stay connected with that vision so that you can create your aligned vision for 2022. Okay. So the first element of the vision board and creating a vision board that's in alignment is the vision. And then the idea that you can trust yourself. Okay. And so trust yourself that no matter what you do, what you put on the vision board, it will be okay. All right. And so really, as long as you're connecting with the feeling, that's the important part. Okay, you can use Canva, you can use Keynote, you can use PowerPoint, or you can use traditional poster board and magazines. You can even grab some images online as long as you're not using them for marketing or anything like that. It's for your personal use. You can grab those images if you know specifically what you want. The vision board can have images, it can have words, whatever connects with you. I've had some vision boards in the past for myself that were just images, and I'm a very visual person, so that really speaks to my soul and to my heart. I also put a lot of words on my vision board now. I like the mix of those things, and I think that's the most important. You can have stickers if you want a physical vision board, and just make it fun. Okay, make it a fun process. The deeper you can feel while you're creating the vision board, the more in alignment it's going to be with you, right? So get your vision of what you want to feel, and then sit and trust yourself. That's the first step. Second step, choose your medium. What do you want to do? Well, how do you want to create it? The third step is to spend some time with the vision. Okay, so I did that visualization. You can, if you've already done it, then you just sit for a few minutes and connect with that vision. Connect with what you want. Connect with that feeling. And from there, start to look for the words, start to look for the images. Okay, so really connect and then do it. Again, this is alignment, taking action that's in alignment with you, doing this this process, but doing it in a way that's in alignment, not just checking it off the list. Okay. So when you're clear, and if you already have your word of the year or you have your phrase of the year, then this is going to be the theme for your vision board, right? It seems logical, but a lot of people, when I say that, they're like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense, right? I didn't think of that. So this is just a quick fourth step is the theme or word, and you would title your vision board that theme. So last year, my vision board's theme was I am abundant. So I had that actually on the top of the vision board. You don't have to put it on the top. You can put it where you want. But, think about a theme. If you have a theme of something, where would you put that? Would you put it around it? Some people can put the theme as kind of like a frame around the vision board. But anywhere so you understand that this is the theme of that board. Okay? So make sure you put that around. So that would be the fourth tip. Like make sure it's a themed vision board. You have an overarching feeling theme. And the fifth tip for the vision board is make sure you have the year. So put the year. When do you would like to create this? This is a good signal to your brain when you're going to relook at it, right? That, oh yeah, this is for this. I'm going to create this year, not this future, like 10 years from now. But yeah, it's like this year. So that's like to kind of make it more real, a little bit more urgency to it than, this vision of my life forever. Who knows when it's going to happen kind of deal, right? So putting that year makes it more present and more valid to now. Okay. And then another tip that I learned from a vision board workshop that I've attended a lot of them, was to put my picture. So a lot of times we create this board, but there's no picture of us on the board. So putting yourself in like the middle of the board is where I think is the best place. And that's where I've seen it make sense, because you're in the middle of this like life that you're creating around it. And so you on the board, your year, your theme. So now this is your vision. It's your aligned vision board versus just a piece of cardboard or poster board or slide that you just stuck a bunch of images. Okay. So, again, those are the few tips. I have a couple more tips. Okay. The 7th tip that I have is to use categories. So if you have a bunch of pictures on a board, just think about that, right? Just even if you could see that in your mind can go to the different aspects, but it's harder to process something like that, right? Just like when you have an outline or you have something before the table of contents, if you think of in a book, right? If you read the table of contents and then you go and read the book, you've already have that kind of framework in your mind, and it's easier for your brain to process. So in the same way, when you are creating your vision board, it is really important to come up with these categories, right? So I'm going to give you some idea of what those categories could be. There's no wrong or right. This is your aligned board, right? This is your aligned vision. So some categories could be work and business. It could be purpose, could be a category. Money, prosperity could be a category for you. Love could be a category. Creativity, if that's what you're feeling you really need this year. It's your spiritual life, intimate relationships, friendships, familial relationships. Or if those don't feel separate right now, you can just put relationships category. Experiences you want to have, and this could be like travel that you want to experience. Maybe you have always wanted to try like rock climbing, or maybe you want to learn how to paint, right? Those could all fall under an experience. It could also be under creativity, depending what you want. Health and wellness. So those are just like some of the overarching categories that people pick usually. And so putting that in sections on your board, right? So having like a section where you have your career and what you want to feel in your career, and what images evoke what you want, and what phrases evoke that also, that feeling for you. And then you could have a section on love. Like maybe this year, one of the things that you want to feel is more love. And that's maybe even your theme for the year. And so what does that love look like to you? What images bring that feeling that you want in that area? Okay. So that's the really key thing. The images being what will evoke the feeling for you. And then so having those categories, if you want, you can even name the categories and have it written on the board. You don't have to. Okay, and you can put phrases that you want to, that evoke the feeling that you want. And so when you have the vision board and you have the sections, the last step is to connect with it and anchor it and be with the vision board. Okay, and be with it, connect with it regularly. Put it up somewhere that you're going to look at it. Maybe take a picture of it on your phone. Maybe it's your screensaver. But really be connected to your vision so that you are not creating a vision board and then putting it away somewhere and forgetting about it. You know, there's this kind of dance. I like to see it as like a dance, because it's not always clear, the line between taking action and trusting versus feeling like you have to make everything happen yourself, right? So, and then the other side of that, which is not just doing the vision board and sitting and hoping that it happens. Okay. So there's a dance. There's like this dance. Okay, I'm going to create this vision. I'm going to connect with this vision. And then I'm going to take some aligned action. So I'm going to take one step to move me towards creating that vision, right? I'm going to take that one step, And so when you do that, when you take that step towards creating what you want, it is coming from that place that's aligned with what you truly want, what your soul wants, versus just like what you think everybody else says you should have, or what you've heard that if you have that, you will be happy. Okay, so then really taking that aligned action. Now, if this is something that you're struggling with, if you're struggling with any parts of this, again, I'm going to say, reach out for support. I would be honored to be part of that process. You can send me a private message and we can set up a time to talk. So now that you have this aligned vision board and you are connecting with it on a regular basis, you can take aligned action towards creating that. Okay. And so I'm going to do a quick recap of that. And then if you are willing to, I'd love to have you stay for a visualization. And so this visualization is going to be about further embodying the word and the mantra of the year that you have for yourself and this energy of that, okay? And to help you kind of anchor this more and embody it more. So I talked about the vision, why it's important, how you already have a vision, so choosing it to create it consciously, why I create vision boards every year. I'm going to talk more in detail about that in my last live. I had a visualization there, and how the key for a vision board is to focus on what you want to feel. And I also briefly talked about the Great Resignation and how the Great Resignation is creating this energy of change around us. And so if you're part of that and you're experiencing this dissatisfaction, this is an opportunity to check in to see what you really want. And so once you have the clarity of what you want, then you don't have to, but if you want it actually to be aligned and, more likely to happen and all those things, then it's important to connect with it. And a vision board is one of the ways to do that. You can also use mantras, journaling, visualizing, excuse me. And then I talked about 8 key elements and tips for creating your vision board. 1 is to trust yourself. 2, you just to choose one tool. Don't overthink it. Just pick one. Canva, Keynote, PowerPoint, poster board, whatever it is you want. Even just a document, Google Doc, really doesn't matter, right? Just pick something. And then once you pick, spend some time with your vision by visualizing what you want, so that when you're picking the image, you're embodying, you're feeling more of that energy. And you can use the visualization I have for you or another one. Then come up with your theme, the feeling, the word, the phrase of the year. Make sure that's on your board. Make sure you have the year. Make sure your picture's on the vision board. Put the images in categories. Some work, business, money, love, creativity, spiritual life, intimate relationships. Those are some potential categories. And then connect with your vision board, anchor it regularly. So keeping it visible, connecting with it. Maybe you have, one thing I didn't say is to have an appointment with yourself once a week, once a day, once a month, where you connect with the vision board. Okay. And then finally the aligned action. So that's not an 8th tip. That's another portion that I talked about, taking the aligned action from the vision board and then dance between taking the action and doing everything yourself and thinking you have to completely create everything. And then instead taking some aligned action and trusting. So like that kind of dance between overdoing it and not doing anything, right? So like somewhere in between is like the sweet spot. Okay. And so I'm going to lead you through a visualization. And In this visualization, it's about anchoring this vision. Okay, so if you're ready, if you're in a place that it's safe to close your eyes, I'm going to ask you to take a moment and close your eyes. And with your eyes closed, take 3 deep breaths. Inhaling, imagining the breath going all throughout your body, and exhaling out. And then inhaling again, and exhaling out, and continuing that breath. And each breath being deeper and longer. And so now thinking of your chakras, and if you're not sure just what the chakras are, don't worry about that right now. Breathing into your spine, into the energy centers. Imagine the energy centers that move throughout your body. So breathing in over the top of your head, down to your spine, down to the base of your spine. And as you exhale, imagine that breath going up your spine and out the top of your head. And with that, bringing and just setting the intention that it's clearing out stuck energy in your chakras. And doing that for one more breath. And when you're ready, bring in the word of the year for you, your mantra, the energy of what you want to feel, bringing in that energy into your heart center. Good. So bringing in that energy. And as you bring in that energy, seeing a vision of yourself, embodying this mantra, embodying this word, seeing yourself actually functioning on a daily basis with this energy, already it part of you. So what would it look like if you embodied this energy now? How would your days be? How would you wake up in the morning? How would you work? What work would you be doing? How would you show up with the people around you in your household? How would you move your body? How would you spend your evenings? How would you spend your weekends? Allowing all those images to come so you can completely embody this feeling. And breathing that in, imagining that, seeing yourself in those actions, seeing yourself taking aligned action, and seeing yourself moving forward and embodying this vision of what you want to create, creating your aligned vision for this year and beyond. And as you're imagining, notice anything important, any insights that come. And now that you've visualized and imagined yourself embodying this energy, picking a point on your hand, maybe it's your thumb or the space right above your thumb, and just touching that area and imagining the energy of this feeling you want to create going into that point. That is your anchor point that you can touch regularly and access this feeling. So anchoring in that energy into that part, into your hand. And knowing you can come back to this whenever you wish. And then you can release the anchor point and take in 1 or 2 more breaths. And when you're feeling ready, coming back, and I'm going to invite you to write down anything that came through that was important. Anything that was a message for you, anything that stood out. Take a moment and write it down. And good. So now, remembering you can access this anchor point whenever you wish, and connecting with your vision regularly. And so next time I come back, I am going to go deeper into some writing exercises that we can do together for you to be continuing on this path to create your aligned vision and to actually move towards it, especially more about that dance, right? That dance of taking action and trusting and allowing. So again, this is Kavita with Aligned and Soulful. And if you want the visualization or you want to connect for a strategy clarity session, please send me a private message and I'd be happy to send you a link to get that scheduled, send you a link for the visualization. And I'd love to hear from you. What did you receive today? What are some insights? What's your word of the day? Sharing that is another way that we can create it, because we have now said it out loud and put it into the universe, right? So sharing that, I'd be honored to hear if you want to send it to me privately as well. So until next time, take good care. Bye.